All right, so maybe we should leave the cockpit and head to the ready room.
All right, let's go to the ready room, guys.
Stand by alert. Stand by alert. Death Star approaching. Estimated time to firing range 15 minutes.
Yahoo! Got him! I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky! Chewie, get us out of here!
Okay. All right. I'm glad everybody got their notes. Everyone's in their assigned seats. Excellent. So let's review mission one. So, this has got an official name to it too, but I can't
Political
recall.
escort.
Political escort. Excellent. So it's set up, and I think in the actual rules it says any of these three missions that come in the starter set can be played 100 points. You just change a few things. But, it starts off with like, two named TIE fighters and, one X-Wing. And that's
Right.
pretty dull. But giving it 100 points is basically, the story is a senator has been, deemed a traitor, and his shuttle's been attacked and damaged, but they've been able to fend off. And so basically, the rebels have linked up with this guy and are trying to protect him against one last kind of counterattack before he gets away. And this is it. So the senator's shuttle is like one of these little cardboard tokens that come in the game. You know those little cardboard tokens that you never use, that you stick in a bag or somewhere and you shove them off? Well, bust it out and use it. It's got 6 hull and 6 shield. It can move either 2 straight or 1 bank every round. It goes at 0. It goes first before everything. And it starts on the rebel side of the board with rebel ships, 100 points, against 100 points of Imperial, and you can go again. And we've actually tried. I did 100 points of Scum as the attacker, kind of through the story, in that they bribed the guy, and he didn't vote the way the crime bosses wanted to. And, the Scum was getting revenge.
Right, so it's an assassination. That's essentially
Right.
what the mission is. It's an escort mission.
Right, and you can toss around whichever way you want, to be
Right.
honest. Like, swap the sides.
I
just
kind of like the rebels, like a dark, rebel faction, like a more ruthless rebel faction assassinating an imperial senator.
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
Like terrorists they are.
Or a
Exactly,
moth or
yeah.
something.
That's perfect propaganda for my Imperials.
Exactly.
Damn terrorists. Cool. So I know I played this game a lot, I'd say, in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I know I played against J-Bot. Have you guys, Jake or Philip?
Yeah, I've played the mission 3 different times with a couple of my friends, my brother. I think I have a pretty good read on the mission.
We should also state that the defending player, if any ship is nearby, can cause an action, protection action.
Right.
So it can give an evade token to the shuttle as its action.
Yeah, so there's the protect action special rule. And then there's also Imperial Reinforcement special rule. So if any Imperial ship is destroyed, then you can deploy an Academy pilot on the Imperial board edge. And of course, the objective is to destroy the Rebel shuttle before it flies off the Imperial board edge.
Right. When I played Scum, I just was going with generic Z95.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure.
12 points.
Substitute your faction's generic 12-point fighter as required. But yeah, so I played it 3 times. Two times playing with all the teeth out, hard, sort of a hard edge competitive style. Trying using all the tricks available and the best builds that I could come up with to both protect and attack the shuttle. And it was able to win as the defenders and the attackers.
Ah, okay.
I think my feeling was that it's a little harder to win as the defenders. I think that my game largely boiled down to a choice that my opponent made. So what happened was my opponent was flying a TIE Rage Swarm. So this is several TIE fighters flying in formation with Youngster, which is a unique TIE fighter that you get in the Gozanti expansion pack.
Gozanti, by the way. If you watch Star Wars Rebels, it's Gozanti.
Gozanti, okay. And Youngster has the Rage Elite Pilot talent, which is, I think we talked about before, but it's an action. You get 2 stress tokens and a focus token, and you can reroll up to 3 attack dice. And Youngster's special ability is that TIE fighters within range 1 to 3 can use his elite pilot talent ability. Any action header on that they can use. So everybody in the TIE Swarm has Rage. And there's I think my friend had at least 6, maybe 7 TIEs. So the idea was that he would just, charge in with the TIEs, get in range 2 or range 1 of the shuttle, and just blast it with all of these TIE fighters and just overload it with damage and destroy it. My list was 2 green squadron A-wings with adaptability and push limit, I think, and Sabine Wren with, I think, maybe an auto blaster turret, and maybe also an offensive ability. I think she had Predator on her.
Yeah, she can actually
offensive.
get a free booster barrel roll and probably get
Right.
around and use that auto blaster turret pretty well.
Yeah. And then last ship was Horton Salm.
Ooh.
Doesn't see a whole lot of play, but his ability is that range 2 to 3 when attacking, he can reroll his blank dice. So he can be pretty accurate at range 2 to 3. And I gave him an ion torpedo and extra munitions and a guidance chip.
Ion torpedo rocks.
Exactly, and it just turned out to be a really, really good fit for my enemies list because he was flying in a tight formation. So what happened was I tried to make a break for the right side of the table with the shuttle, and aiming. And I was planning to sort of attack his TIE Swarm from the side and ionize it, and try to dodge the killing blow with the shuttle and get around it. And I think that it wouldn't quite have worked if my opponent hadn't turned his TIE Swarm towards my escort ships. Because he sort of veered away from the shuttle because he thought that killing the shuttle would be too easy, and he wanted to kill some of my ships to make me feel bad, I guess.
Yeah.
And he did kill Sabine in the first round, and I wasn't able to. I think I did 1 damage on his TIE fighters, and Horton Salm was out of range with his ion torpedoes, so I was in a really bad spot right there. But then I was able to block him with the A-wings and hit him with ion torpedoes, and he ended up spending about 3 turns in a traffic jam while the shuttle was skirting around the edges and making a break for his table edge. And I was able to get off the table edge with only a couple of shields off the shuttle eventually, mainly by controlling his swarm with torpedoes and forcing him to fly away from the shuttle for a couple turns.
I played a number of games with the same list against different opponents, and I used my TIE Punisher for the first time. I'm a big TIE Bomber man, and I had not done the TIE Punisher, and so I've read enough about it. It seemed interesting, so I actually busted him out. I took a generic, but I gave him I think it was a concussion missile and ion torpedo. And ion torpedo, at one point, I screwed myself because just ionizing myself and bumping and not being able to turn around and just all that craziness hurt me. But another time against J-Bot, I hit that shuttle and it won me the game. Because he went.
Yeah. It was literally he blew it up where the very next turn it went off the board.
Ugh.
I take pride in the fact that he basically rolled 2 evade on every or more on
For a couple
every
games, like one or
defensive
two
roll.
games.
Yeah, and
My dice were strong. No matter what he rolled.
didn't matter what I rolled. He basically evaded almost everything. But I actually took, because I was in a hurry, I actually took the B team list I mentioned earlier, stock in that straight against his, and it actually worked because everything he was using was small base ships, and the whole idea was essentially let him fly at me, I ionize him, and then jump him. Like, once I get past him with the shuttle, he's got to get back through essentially the ion, cloud that these things put out, and he can't catch back up. But
Right.
Ion is really powerful.
Right.
Yeah,
Control is key in this scenario, because even if you destroy the defending ships, they get those reinforcements and they come in a great position to attack the shuttle.
Right, and when I played the Imperial side, I think I played this 3 times. The first one, it was just kind of a half-butted, just to not curse, version of a list. But when I played the Imperial side, I took the whole control idea, I guess, in my mind was, well, the shuttle can jump anything. If it bumps you, because you can go too forward, it can just jump past whatever bumps in front of it.
Well,
so I said, I'm going to take a fire spray.
Right.
And basically wherever he goes, I'm going to have this thing nosed up in front of it so he can't so he can't jump it, and it ended up working because he clogged right in front of it, and it got picked apart by all the other ships that came in.
The round that killed the fire spray was the round that the shuttle blew.
Right, yeah. So and that was the idea, just block that, and the fire spray can shoot at anything else.
Right, and you can permanently block that shuttle because its maneuvers are so limited. If you just put a large base ship in front of it, it can't go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Though I will say the Ion was pretty cool, because when I flew the Scum list, I just wanted to take the Mist Hunter because I'd never flown it with a new wave, and I wanted to try it out. And I actually forgot I had the cloaking device and all that. But what I also threw on was a heavy Seek with an ion cannon, which is not that expensive and a really good control ship. And I think was against one of my local guys, Blake, who's a great guy. He actually just came back from missing the scene for Crazy Life. But he had like 2 Z95s that were just kind of cruising and giving it evade every time. And, and a few other things. One of the things he used was the K-Wing, not Miranda, but the one no one uses, a Sege
Tuteku, I think.
Yeah, which basically means, any another ship can use one of your focuses, one of your friendly ones. So you did a recon specialist, and then could siphon off the focus tokens for whenever he needed it, and it was really effective. But like my Seek went in, I kind of went in, and I had some like Z95s, a Seek, the Mist Hunter. I think I might have had a Carax, and I tagged one of the Z95s, and it went brrr and slowed down, and the shuttle went 2, and he was out of range 1, and he couldn't do his action, and then things started to fall apart with that. And just even like a little thing like that, and yes, hitting the shuttle is good because you can slow it down, but hitting the support was actually more important, because I even put tractor beam on the Mist Hunter because I thought, I could barrel roll the shuttle backwards. But he had so much defense wrapped into it, which I thought that was a cool idea, a cool concept. But he had so much defense wrapped around it that I couldn't. And that was another one that came really close to the board edge, but I was able to blow it up finally.
Yeah, I think that overall the attacker has a clear advantage in this mission.
I played at least half a dozen games, at least, and the Rebels never won. Now,
the Rebels definitely have kind of the short end on this one. My opinion was that the respawn of the Imperial ships, it basically comes off your board edge. I think, and this is just me guessing here, if you made it so the spawn came from either side but not directly in front of the shuttle, it might at least even that up a little bit, because you could essentially fly that Academy pilot straight in front of the shuttle.
And block it. Just so, it's dead again. Let me just run another one straight up the gut and block it again, versus
oh, it's got to come in from the sides
I
and
might have used
actually
that
get
tactic.
there. Yes, but I really do like this mission. The more we played it, the more we looked at it, because it's a very simple concept of just get this ship across the map,
Yeah.
and it allows for so many different ideas. I mean, I think that Blake match, he just said, "I'm going pure defense. I'm not going to try and shoot your
Yeah.
ships out of the sky if I don't have to. I'm just going to try and walk this guy across with as many foci, whatever, and evades and everything I can get on it. And any of
Yeah.
your ships I kill is a bonus."
Yeah,
And
in
he
fact,
did pretty well with
I
just that attitude.
he came within like one turn of getting it off the board, and I finally killed it. And the only ship destroyed was the shuttle at the end of it.
I
Right.
played one of the other games that I played when I was playing sort of hardcore was I took 4 TIE bombers with homing missiles and expanded extra munitions and long range sensors, and that completely bypasses the protect action, because the
Oh
protect action
yes,
assigns evade tokens, and homing missiles don't allow you to spend evade tokens when you're defending.
which yeah, well, we talked about that, like Jonathan and Blake and I, is that basically you can take all these different strategies, and it's like, well, I'm going to be, one of those guys, and I'm going to min max. I'm going to have like, 7 Z95s flying around the shuttle, and you're never going to get an evade through. Boom,
Right.
take homing missile, and all those evade tokens are utterly useless.
Yeah, I smoked the shuttle in one turn with
Right.
with 4 missiles.
It's like if you the replay value of the mission is really high, because no matter what you take, someone can counter it, whether it's offense or defense. And that there's so many different options to kind of roll with that it just
Right.
it's pretty cool. Like I admit I did once as defender for the rebels, and I took like Y wings with like Connor nets, and I had never used Connor nets before, so I really wanted to use Connor nets, and I ended up like ionizing my own ship because like I dropped it. I think I'll do a 3 bank, and like, oh crap, I just totally blocked my Z95, but it did come in handy at certain points, and I was able to hit, even drop it on certain ships, and there's a lot of variety, like ion torpedoes, to be able to go bzz, and just shut down like a whole section of ships
Right.
and zip past. Like there's a lot of ways to win the game, and it's so cool. Like the replay value, and even if you get some guy who's just one of those people that's annoying as heck and does whatever they can to kind of just spank you hard, you can like come up with a counter list, and
It
kind
is
of even
possible.
the escalation war back and forth between like, oh, I'm going to counter your counter, and like, it just gets ridiculous, and you could really kind of do a lot with it.
Although I do feel that the attacker has the advantage in that situation, because the attacker he doesn't necessarily need to counter the defender's tactics. He just has to have a good tactic to kill the shuttle, right? So that could be a TIE swarm, that could be 4 TIE bombers with homing missiles, that could be block the shuttle with a large base ship and then
Well,
kill it.
I
And
I
then
agree to some sense.
defender has to have the right counter, or they're in really bad shape. And even if they do have the right counter, sometimes it's really hard.
I think it's a little bit of both, because let's say if someone goes Z95 swarm, constantly giving evades, your even crack swarm's not gonna, which is
Yeah.
a black
It would be
squadron
really tough
crack
if you're not
shot,
ready for it.
right? And so I think there's still a bit. It's not so much on the onus of the defender, but I think it's good. And I think at one point, I took a bunch of generics and played against, J-Bow with a bunch of generics, and we just it was cool to not,
Highest
not
pilot
to
skill
be
was a
all
3.
right. Yeah, like Pascal 3 was like the bounty hunter, the Imperial bounty hunter was
That
the
was my
highest
fire spray,
pilot
the
skill.
3. Like he's the whole. Everybody else was stock, the lowest thing we could
One or
afford.
two, and it was pretty cool. It was a fun mission because we could get like a bunch of ships, all generics, all doing stuff, and
Right.
that was really cool.
And there's absolutely no, defined metagame for this mission. Also,
Well, okay, and see, that's what I think is cool, is the meta means about something, and meta game means the game of the game. And
Mhm.
while yes, metagame in X-Wing basically means the most popular topper lists that win tournaments and net lists and get you see a lot. But basically, metagaming for this mission is the game of the game. And so if you've played with like a number of like a closed loop of people, like what you find wins and your strategies is actually the game. Like you find someone gets the Z swarm, you do the homing missiles. That's the metagame of
Right.
your version of that game. And I think that there is a lot of meta you can do with this scenario, and there's a lot of replay, and that this scenario I loved it. I've had people tell me it's their favorite scenario. It's just there's so much you can get into about the mission that just makes it really fun. Even if let's say these tournament players out there who are listening, because I know there's a few. They want to try it, but they want to go for their freaking nastiest list. And they want like min-max. And they get your defender who gets the cheesiest, nastiest combo and like go for it. And it's still fun. It's like it's still a good time.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth playing. I mean, I know it came in the original box. I know it's mission 1 and it seems old and dusty, but I think it's a good mission. I think it's worth doing. It's definitely a change of pace for people who are just used to death matches, because in almost every game we played, there was very few ships, 1 or 2, that actually got destroyed, because the focus in this mission is not on destroying each other. It's just on that one shuttle, and what do you do to kill it or to keep it alive, and that's just a different dynamic than everything else, and I really liked it.
And even new upgrades add new spins, like
Yeah, definitely.
Tractor beam, you could, let's say there's bigs. You've got freaking bigs around the shuttle. I've seen enough of bigs in these missions. Boop him tractor beam because you're going to hit him. And, barrel roll him out of range 1 of the shuttle. The rest of your list can open up fire. Or even, boop, barrel roll the shuttle back. So it went too forward, barrel roll it backwards a bit. It's a big base. You can actually get like range 1 back again, so it just went 1 forward is all. Or any of these other support ships, boop, out of range 1, they can no longer do their little support thing.
Yeah, I think that I would definitely take another look at it as like a developer. My specialty is writing missions, right? And
Grand Poobah.
yeah, exactly, Grand Poobah mission control. So I'd say that my take on this mission is that attackers have an advantage, and defenders probably should have something. I think that at least they should be able to deploy the shuttle in a different spot than the exact center of their table edge, which is how it works in the mission. You have to deploy the shuttle at range 2 of your table edge, and in the exact center of that zone, facing the enemy table edge directly, right? So it's completely defined. There's no wiggle room for your deployment there, and I think that's unnecessary and limits your options as a defender and gives the attacker a bit of an advantage.
I can see the idea of putting the shuttle in the middle, because the whole point is no asteroids or anything. The whole point is like you find these guys, you ambush them. But I do think there might be some, maybe with the reinforcements. If you remove the reinforcements, then the defender gets alpha strike, and it can cripple you, and you're kind of done. But I like the idea of reinforcements coming off the side of the board edge. That to me sounds really cool, because there's none of that blocking thing that happens. Because I did it, and it is pretty cheesy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one change that I would look at. I would also look at, instead of making the shuttle 6 hulls, 6 shields at 100 points, instead of that, having 2 shuttles on the board, and only requiring 1 to escape over the enemy table edge to win, and both of them would just have 6 hull, which is what the shuttle has in the basic version of the mission, where you only have
without the shield.
Yeah. I think that it's still the same amount of hull that you need to kill, but it adds another layer because you have to chase down 2 of these things, so that makes it a lot harder to block it. It forces you to sort of hedge your bets in terms of like what you think your ships can do, and it gives the defender some options in terms of like maybe concentrating on defending just one shuttle. So that might be something I would look at. It's possible that would give the defender too much of an advantage. Maybe they could just concentrate on defending only one of those with all their ships, for example, and just protect it with 8 Z95s or something.
It'd be cool. You have the Imperials as defenders, and this is their troop transport. They've got the stormtroopers that are going on planet or on the space station. The rebels have to blow up the troop transports, kill the TIE fighters. That would be kind of cool. And I've even seen on Star Wars Rebels, they have something that looks like a Lambda, but it's slightly different. And I had to Wikipedia it. And, basically it's a Sentinel shuttle, which the Lambda is like the diplomat officer, high end. But like the Sentinel is like your troop transport, more armor, less nicety, cram it as many stormtroopers as you can. And maybe do something with like Lambda, or using Lambda shuttles, Omicron pilots, instead of the rest, and see how that goes. I don't know. It might be neat.
Yeah. And one other thing tweak that I was thinking about for the mission, because I have so many, is I would actually go back and change the protect action to work more like draw their fire. The elite pilot talent draw their fire. So if you have a ship flying next to the shuttle and someone attacks the shuttle, then you can cancel one of the hits on the shuttle and have your ship next to it suffer 1 damage. I think that's a little cooler, and it sort of helps you get around the homing missile problem, for example. Because, that'll still work against homing missiles.
Though seriously, if you want someone to, if you want to stop people from doing that, you just start using assault missiles and hitting the support ships, and bam, everything starts blowing to pieces. Yeah. That's what I love about this mission. That, someone takes something, really beardy or cheesy or whatever, and you can just find an extra beardy, cheesy way to kill it. All right, so Jake and Jonathan, you guys are kind of quiet, and so
we're absorbing it all.
Yeah, that's right. It's all these masters at work here. We just sit back and
or if we're just getting too far into it.
No. You guys are good.
Cool. I really enjoyed this mission. Like, I played it like multiple weeks. I really actually liked it. Different opponents and different things to try. It was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed this one.
No, yeah, it's not a bad mission. Escort missions are really hard to design, and to make them fun and balanced, because it's a hard dynamic to work with, because you have to worry about how much damage the attackers can do, how much damage the defenders can prevent. It's not always the easiest type of mission to make.
Yeah. It seems escort missions in pretty much every form that they're offered, whether it's a video game or even this, tend to be headaches for people one way or the other. I mean, at least the shuttle isn't purposefully flying towards enemy bad guys. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it is. Seems to be the problem in most video games I play, is they, shiny, and they wander off to go fight something that you're just trying to get them away from, sort of thing.
It'd be nice if the shuttle had more movement options too.
Yeah, that it may, even if it's just twos all the way across, can just do 2 maneuvers.
And then set up diagonally instead of standard deployment. So you start off in one corner and you have to escape off the opposite corner. So that way you could make the shuttle a little faster, but still give the other team enough time to shoot it down.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's pretty much a consensus. It's a good mission. Phil would like to change a few things, but he'd probably like to change a few things about most missions.
True.
And Jim just likes beating everybody's current Favorite way of. I finally won one, and Jim's going to just figure out a way to beat it. That's what sounds like me.